Aman, congrats first of all for your success in the civil service examinations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are going to discuss, we can have some general discussion about how you prepared for this civil service examination and with the philosophy as the optional. Okay. So first of all, I would like to ask you why you chose philosophy as an optional.
Yeah, I think that like choosing an optional is like the most important decision, one of the most important decisions that we're going to make in our civil service preparation. And the reason I chose philosophy was that, first of all, I think that the most important factor while choosing an optional is aptitude. And I think that I had an aptitude towards philosophy, even though my academic background is it's a technical background. I studied BTech in electrical engineering, but I was interested in, I had an amateur interest in philosophy at that time also. So the aptitude was the most important thing. And also in philosophy, we can see that the syllabus is short and static. And that is one of the huge advantages that philosophy offers. And so the syllabus is very manageable also. And it's also very interesting in that, we study about all these philosophies that we have heard about, like Buddhism and Vedanta and Charvaka and existentialism. So these concepts are not at all like, it's not just dry theory. They are concepts which make you think. And like, for the example, the question, something like a question like, does effect pre-exist in the cause? So this is a question that throws open so many possibilities of intellectual stimulation. So that is the kind of syllabus that philosophy has. And for me also, I think I was fortunate that I got excellent guidance from Mahesh sir. He has a very interesting way of teaching also. It's a very, very interactive, very dynamic, something that I have not experienced till now. So it makes you become like fully involved in the class, and we learn to, view all these philosophical positions. We learn to view them dispassionately, while at the same time maintaining our interest. So, and another major reason why I'm choosing philosophy is the benefit that you get in your ethics and your essay paper. So, in fact, I remember that in essay there was a topic in the previous years, which was along the lines of, the relation between religion and morality, and that is a topic that we actually have to study in philosophy. So such kind of advantages are there. In ethics also, there is something like the middle path of Buddhism. So the policy of moderation, that is, that has so many wide applications. That is something we can use in ethics also. So for all these reasons, I chose philosophy.
Okay, man. What was your approach to the paper 1 and philosophy?
So paper 1 in philosophy can be divided into mainly two parts. One is the Indian and Western philosophy. I'll just give a brief overview of the structure of paper 1. So in paper 1, you have in the Indian schools of philosophy, you have the three Shramanic traditions, then 6 schools of Orthodox Indian philosophy. Then in Western philosophy, you move from Plato, who is, and it is said that all Western philosophy can be considered as footnotes to Plato. So from Plato, you move on to Aristotle, and there is a logical continuation there. And then on the question of whether knowledge is innate or whether it comes from experience, you have two schools, rationalism and empiricism. Then you move on to Kant, and Kant's role is said to be analogous to Vedanta. Like the role played by Kant is said to be analogous to the role played by Adi Shankaracharya, in how he tried to harmonize the various existing philosophies and put forward a consistent, internally logical philosophy. Then we move on to the modern age. We have Hegel, who influenced Karl Marx, and the philosophy of religion. What is the role played by religion? What is the nature of religion? Philosophy of language. So the role and nature of language. Then we move on to existentialism, which is more about the nature and purpose of human existence. The question of, meaning, that's life and meaning. So that is also something that many of us will be able to relate to. So this paper 1, if you examine it, one finds that it is actually very content oriented. So for each philosophical system, there will be arguments that they put forward, concepts that they put forward, and we have to study those concepts. We have to study how that philosophy justifies their positions, what are the arguments that they put forward, and then again obviously the implications of that concept. So this concept, how it impacts our view of the world, how it impacts our view of ourselves, morality. So all these questions will be there. Then obviously each philosophical position will be criticized by other rival philosophies also. So those criticisms. So there's a very logical structure to paper one, uh, and the basic approach to paper one is complete mastery of content. And so that was my approach also. And in this regard, good notes are very important, because the knowledge material may be spread out over many standard books. So in that case, a lot of time and effort will be saved if we have good notes. And for me personally, I was very fortunate, because the notes that I got from my classes at Enlite, they were comprehensive and concise. So there was everything that you need and nothing that you don't need, and it was all well organized in that correct that pattern that we require, like the concepts, the arguments, the criticisms. So everything was there. So uh, because of that, I was able to save a lot of time and effort. So that was my approach for paper one.
Okay, Aman. And for the paper two, what's the nature of the paper and how can it be approached?
Paper two is can be, again, just like we divided paper one into Indian and Western philosophy. Paper two can be divided into socio-political philosophy and the philosophy of religion. So in socio-political philosophy, we move on to more contemporary and more temporal areas, so to say. So concepts like democracy, like justice, equality, multiculturalism. So issues which we see around us. So that is what is there in socio-political philosophy. We study the ideas that are put forward by various thinkers like John Rawls and Amartya Sen, the views of Gandhi, Milton Friedman, Ambedkar. Then also we study the various political philosophies like socialism and Marxism. What are what are the ideas that they put forward? So, like the title suggests, it's mostly political and social philosophies. Next is we have the philosophy of religion, and in philosophy of religion, we study about say the various views about the nature of God, the nature of religious language. Like different thinkers interpret religious language in different ways. The language that we see in scriptures, how to interpret it. So that is one question. Then the nature of God, is he like monotheistic or pantheistic or panentheistic or deistic? So all these various views we study. And really, what is the relation between religion and morality? Is religion religious belief or belief in a all-powerful God necessary for morality? And if not, then what are the advantages and disadvantages? So all these various kinds of views we study in philosophy of religion. So just by the description itself, I think it will be clear that while paper one is more objective and content oriented, paper two is more about originality of thought. It's more about how you are able to create and process ideas and also present them. So that is a basic difference between paper two and paper one. So in paper two, if you're if a question is put forward to you, then you need to have your an independent opinion. What is your opinion on this? And then you can substantiate it also. So that's the basic difference between paper two and paper one.
Well, Aman, you had scored 310 marks in CSE 2018 in philosophy. So, what is your recommendations to the aspirants who are and how they can maximize the scores?
Like I said, the optional paper is something which can play a deciding factor in our preparation. Like it accounts for 500 marks out of 2025, the total marks that we get, and also the variation that comes in the optional paper is can often be a make or break factor. So in that regard, our objective is obviously to maximize our marks in optional, and the strategy was pretty simple. For paper one, it was about gaining or having a complete mastery over content. Paper one, like I said, it is mostly content oriented, and this content should be on your fingertips. So all the concepts, the arguments, the justifications, the criticisms, and all these ideas, it should be always be on your fingertips. There should be no ambiguity or doubt or vagueness to it. So it should be clear and sharp and precise. And for paper two, it's mostly about that originality of thought that I was talking about. So in paper two, it is necessary that you have that skill of original thinking. And how to develop that skill of original thinking? We can develop it by addressing the questions that have come from the previous years and developing our own ideas. And in the answers, you can enrich those ideas. You can that there should be a good flow to your answer, and there should also be adequate real life examples. So references that connect your answer to the real world, that give your answer substance. So that is also necessary. Then the ideas of the thinkers that we use, like roles, so that should come in seamlessly in the answer. So that is a skill that one must practice over time. And for paper one, like I said, it's always about the mastery over the content. And for your answer writing, you need to be absolutely organized in your answer. The answer should be exactly what the question demands, and additionally, you have to address all sides. So if the question is about, say, for example, the question is about something like Charvaka's view of the world. So in Charvaka's view of the world, they say that all we can know is what we perceive. So what we perceive is all that we can know. So what are the implications of that? So we will start with this premise. What is the basic premise? What are the implications? What are the justifications? The arguments that they put forward in support of this premise. Then what are the what are the implications on our life, on morality, on the world? So the world view. So all these kind of things. Then finally the criticism. What are the drawbacks of such a position? So that is how there should be a clean, logical structure to your answer. And that is, so writing practice is obviously very important. So that is something that you will have to spend a lot of time and effort on, so that you can actually address the demand of the examination.
Okay, Aman. How studying the philosophy has transformed you?
Yeah, I think I found that philosophy is an optional paper that it's not just an academic subject. It's something that has a relevance in in our own life as well. So like I said, the basic ideas, especially such as when it comes to religion. So when it comes to existentialism, what is the purpose of our life? I think that these are questions which all of us have at least thought about at some point of our lives. All of us have wondered about many of these questions. So it was it's a very gratifying experience to actually study about all these ideas that have been put forward by various thinkers, and finding that connection between our own lives and the ideas that they put forward. Similarly, so for example, in the case of Buddhism, the concept of middle path or Madhyama Marga. So this policy of moderation, like I said earlier, it is something that has a relevance in every aspect of our life, whether it's personal life or professional life. When it comes to facing all the dilemmas that we face in our life, whether to choose this path or the other path, or how to conduct ourselves in a particular situation. So for all these situations, we find that this concept of middle path comes in very useful. And so that was also a process of self-discovery and self-awareness, studying philosophy for me, because these are all questions that I had wondered about, and I'm sure that many other people would have wondered about. And to find these questions discussed in such depth and clarity, it was a very enriching experience also. And similarly for existentialism, like how to look at life, what is it that we are are, how to face the different challenges that we might face, how to face success. So that's how I see it. I mean, it's not just a dry academic subject. It's something that directly influences our lives, our thoughts, how we look at ourselves, how we look at the world, how we should kind of take on responsibilities. So all these things can be experienced more fully through philosophy. So that's why personally I'm very glad that I I chose philosophy, not just because of the practical advantage that I got in the examination, but also in how it influenced me and helped me grow as a person.
Okay, man. What do you have to tell to the aspirants who are willing to take philosophy in the coming years?
Yes, I think that what I would like to say to them is that, first of all, congratulations for making a very good decision. Uh, I don't think that I have heard about anyone who has, uh, who after choosing philosophy did not like it or did not relish, to be very frank, relish it. So for them, I will say just this one thing, that never forget uh, the goal of your preparation, and the goal of the preparation is clearing the examination. So that is how we always keep in touch with the demand of the examination. It's always about having your having your finger on the pulse, so to say, of the examination, understanding the demand, understanding the requirement, and studying accordingly. So for them, I would like to say that prepare well and develop that kind of originality of thought, and always be prepared to work hard. And if you do it, then definitely you'll get the results. There are no doubts about it.
Okay, man. Thank you. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. We
Thank,
are Enlite
thank you.
IAS. Congratulate you once again for your grand success, and thank you very much.
Thank you.